9:23 now. Jeff Kinney is back with his 13th installment of his popular, that's understating it a bit, his series Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Your kids have heard of this book because he sold 200 million of them over the last 12 years. This morning, he is here with the 12th or 13th edition. I've lost count.
The 13th.
13th,
edition.
thank you. Say good morning to you. Nice to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Can we go, we'll talk about the new book in just a second, but can we go back in time and talk about how this all started in terms of you were doing drawings of this idea, and you put them on the web for a couple of years before this all took off.
That's right. I had this idea, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I worked on it for 8 years. And then finally I started putting it on the web in daily installments. And by the time I was done putting up all these blog-like posts, I had, I think, about 12 million readers online. So it was a nice way to go out and try to find a publisher.
Talk about the American dream of writing a book, and then you went and this thing took off.
Yeah.
Did you think it would go that far?
I didn't think the books would even get published. I spent about 3 years trying to become a syndicated newspaper cartoonist. I got no traction at all. And then I worked on this thing that I thought was so weird. You know, it's handwritten font, and it's got these cartoon drawings. It was really different, so I didn't think it would succeed.
But it resonates with kids. As we were talking, and we're not kidding around, but these are all from my children's library at home.
Great.
They own every copy, and I would imagine that's not the first time you've heard that across the nation, right?
Yeah, it's really cool to hear that kids own every copy, especially because there are 13 of them. So kids are coming into the series right now, and then they're buying the backlist, or you have older kids who are still reading the books. So it's really cool to be writing for almost different generations of kids by now.
All right, speaking of older generations, because Jeff and I are the same age, because we have actually a little bit of a past together. You started out at the University of Maryland doing a daily comic strip.
Yes.
I was at Maryland with him, and I went through the archives of my home last night. That was the paper. I wrote an article in here, in this one copy, but there is, and if you look at your screen right now, that was the original. This is Diary of a Wimpy Kid 1.0.
Wow,
Big doof right there. Now,
I'm afraid to see what's on that screen.
No, we cleared it. This is, I mean, listen, this is not easy to do, to be funny, to be witty, and to find a common bond with teenagers and preteens in an effect that you are now, in a lot of ways, their savior. They really resonate with you, don't they? Oh,
that's really nice of you to say. You know, when I was growing up, I read Judy Blume, Beverly Cleary. I really gravitated to the stories that were realistic, funny fiction, and where I could see myself in the characters. So those are my role models. I really try to write stories that kids can relate to.
And what do you hope that they take away from reading your books, aside from a lot of laughs?
I'm not trying to teach kids a lesson or give them a moral. What I'm really trying to do is teach them that reading is pleasurable. You know, when a kid finishes one of my books, they feel a sense of success.
Sure.
And I want them to go on to become lifelong readers.
The new book came out this week. What's it called?
It's called The Meltdown.
And it's about a little wintry theme to it, right?
Yeah, it starts off with global warming, so it's a riot.
Good. There it is right there. When you are going to be at R.J. Julia's tonight, or R.J. Julia's sponsoring it, you're going to be in Clinton, right?
Yes, that's where I'm going to be at the Morgan School.
And you're going to be talking to kids, and again, this is almost part of a whole show that you do when you go around the country.
Yeah, we just started doing this just a few days ago. We're putting on a show instead of just a typical author talk and Q&A. We're doing a whole show with all sorts of different segments, and it's totally randomized, so we don't know what's coming.
But you know that there's going to be a lot of kids very excited to see you, and they're going to be picking up the book, which you can find on your bookshelves, bookstores everywhere. Jeff Kinney.
Thanks so much.
While he was on the paper, I was doing the radio, and it's funny, at 20 years, we have one huge success, and me. Nice to have you. Thanks for coming, and continued success.